Imagine this. You're a 2750 rated elite grandmaster. You've just won the candidates tournament and the stage is set. You're about to face Magnus Carlsen in a world championship match, assuming he's decided to reclaim his throne. You have one mission: to outplay, outlast, and outthink the greatest chess player of all time. Your name could be etched into history, if you can pull off the impossible. But let's not sugarcoat it. You're facing a man who's better than you at almost everything. Openings, middle game precision, endgame wizardry, psychological warfare, stamina, the list doesn't end. So what do you do? How do you even begin to crack a player like Magnus? In this video, I'll break it down into 3 practical, high-level steps based on Carlsen's known strengths, his rare vulnerabilities, and how a challenger could turn the tide. And I want to hear from you too. What do you think is the most effective strategy to beat Magnus Carlsen in a match setting? Let's dive in. If there's one player who almost unanimously earns the title of the greatest of all time, it's Magnus Carlsen. Whether or not he has surpassed Garry Kasparov in terms of legacy is a debate best saved for another video, but let's be honest. At the very least, Magnus now stands shoulder to shoulder with the chess giants of history. So what exactly makes Magnus Carlsen feel invincible? There are many factors, but one stands out above all: his uncanny, almost alien-like understanding of chess positions. You don't see Magnus getting positionally outplayed, at least not since he became world number 1. How many players in history can you say that about? Even Anish Giri once said in an interview, Magnus getting outplayed positionally? That simply doesn't happen. Now add to that his endgame wizardry. Magnus can squeeze water from a stone, turning equal endgames into nightmares. He creates tension in positions where engines scream equality. He asks you tough questions after questions until you finally crack. And he does it consistently. If you enter the endgame thinking you're equal, or even slightly better, you might already be in trouble. You'll likely end up shaking hands in resignation, not peace. Then there's his mental resilience. He doesn't collapse under pressure. He doesn't tilt. Even in bad positions, Magnus remains calm, stubborn, calculating. Take his legendary save against Nakamura at the 2017 London Chess Classic. He was worse, under pressure, yet never flinched. That's the hallmark of a champion. So this raises the big question: does Magnus Carlsen have any weaknesses at all? And if yes, how does a challenger like you exploit them? Let's break that down in the next chapter. Step 1. The opening. Vishy Anand once remarked that in the computer age, even a club-level player, if heavily prepared, can emerge from the opening with an advantage against a grandmaster. That's how deep and democratized opening preparation has become. In this landscape, where brute memorization can outshine over-the-board skill, even Magnus Carlsen, the greatest of our time, becomes slightly more vulnerable. Why? Because opening preparation has never been his strongest suit. Early in his career, Magnus deliberately chose innocuous openings, often sidestepping deep theory to steer the game straight into the middle game, the terrain where his intuitive grasp and positional brilliance could shine. His goal wasn't to win the opening. It was to survive it and outplay you later. His Game 3 loss in 2014 World Championship against Anand, where he was unprepared in the opening, is one such example. So, if you're looking to beat him, step 1 is clear: out-prepare him. Use engines, novelties, and concrete lines to drag Magnus into unfamiliar territory early on. Get a playable advantage. Make him uncomfortable from move 1. You won't outcalculate or outlast him later, but you just might outbook him in the beginning. Step 2. Avoid dead positions and endgames. Easier said than done. But the more simplified or clear the position becomes, the more dangerous Magnus gets. Why? Because that's where his true strength lies, in squeezing blood from stones with superior positional understanding and endgame mastery. We've seen this time and again. In both of his World Championship matches against Vishy Anand, Magnus didn't blow Anand off the board with flashy tactics. He kept the positions quiet, seemingly innocuous, and then outplayed him in the tiniest of edges. Long, slow grinds that eventually broke resistance. One of the most chilling examples, his win against Alireza Firouzja. The position looked equal, just a calm, minor piece endgame. But Magnus turned it into a masterclass of pressure, patience, and precision. What seemed drawish turned deadly. So, step 2 is simple in theory, brutal in practice. Don't aimlessly trade down. Don't drift into safe-looking endgames. Magnus thrives there. He's not trying to beat you in chaos. He's trying to lull you into comfort and then suffocate you. Step 3. Complicate the position. If you're facing a player stronger than you, there's one universal principle: complicate the game. The logic is simple. In clear, dry positions, superior understanding prevails. And with Magnus, that's a losing battle. When was the last time we witnessed Magnus getting positionally outplayed? His intuition is arguably the best in history. If the average elite scores a 9 out of 10 in intuition, Magnus is a 15 out of 10. But when it comes to pure tactical sharpness, he's excellent, not untouchable. Against peers like Gukesh, Fabiano, or Alireza, his tactical prowess is more human. Maybe an 8 out of 10 in a room full of 8s and 9s. And there's evidence. Take his 2023 World Cup game against Vincent Kamer. Magnus missed a basic combination. Bishop takes c3, queen takes c3, knight takes e4, f takes e4, queen takes e4, attacking both the bishop and the knight. At the elite level, that's a shocking miss. Or his recent Grand Chess Tour loss to Gukesh, an unclear tactical position where Magnus simply got outplayed. Even back in Game 9 of the 2013 World Championship, Anand, finally breaking from calm waters, complicated the position and had Magnus on the ropes. It was one of the few games where Carlsen looked visibly uncomfortable. So step 3 is clear. Steer the game into murky, tactical waters. Create chaos. Give him problems to solve, not structures to dominate. Because when the smoke rises and pieces are flying, even Magnus can bleed. Execute these 3 steps, and just maybe, you'll earn yourself a 0.1% better chance of beating Magnus Carlsen in a World Championship match. It's a microscopic edge, but when you're up against the greatest chess player of our time, even 0.1% is gold dust, because Magnus doesn't give you chances. You have to steal them.